Hello and welcome back to this Q&A series, episode number 3. So, yes, you know the drill by now, we're getting into the swing of it. We've got some more questions to answer from you lovely guys. And also, I've got my cup of tea, and I'm using that as a sort of timer, because I like to ramble, yes, but I've also got to try and be a bit concise. So, can I answer the questions, the necessary questions, before the tea goes cold? We'll find out. So, let's get straight onto it with some questions, and these first set of questions are from the same person. It's Elliot Moth. So thank you for giving your name. Hopefully, I think from a few questions onwards, I should have everyone's name to at least credit. So, his first question is, what was the first game you played and really loved as a kid? Oh, you guys are trying to make me think back and my memory's awful, so I can't give good answers. Damn you all. Okay, well, I got a bit of paper. I tried to write some stuff down so I could jog my memory, and I'm thinking I'm going to go with either two games because my memory's so foggy. But in terms of oldest game, you know, the first game that I remember playing and really liking was... Okay, well actually it's sort of different for different consoles. If we go with the Super Nintendo, I have strong memories of playing that with my cousins, who were actually quite a bit older than me, but still, playing with my cousins, Super Mario Brothers 3 and Donkey Kong Country, the first one. So yeah, those two for the Super Nintendo for sure, definitely, because I always remember learning the trick of how to get the whistle, the flute, in the first is it the very first map? Very first level? Or it might be the third level in. But you can crouch on that block, go behind the level, run past the end, and you find a flute. I remember that quite a bit. And also Donkey Kong Country, I just remember the music and, you know, the visuals of that game. A lot of good memories about that. Now, that's the weird thing though, is that I probably loved playing them, but I also loved watching them. I really don't mind watching other people play games, which I guess leads itself well to, you know, the whole Let's Playing stuff. I actually really like watching people play games, and so I was never really too angry or annoyed if I didn't get to play, because I just enjoyed watching my cousins play these games. But if we move on to maybe the PS1, I have one of the very earliest games I can remember playing for the PS1, and this was the nice small PS1, not the PlayStation. This was the PS1. This was the small one. That's what I got for my birthday or Christmas maybe one year. And I remember a particular game called Croc. Now that is a funny little game. A funny little game. It's just sort of... It's one of those games where now I have such sort of vague memories of it. It seems sort of like it shouldn't exist. Like it's something I just made up in my head. But yeah, you walk around and the music's really good, I think, I remember. And you do lots of climbing on on rails above you and stuff like that, and there are these weird little furry things as well. But I remember really liking that, especially the music. I'm gonna have to go listen to that music now. That should take me back. Oh, nostalgia. Okay, so there's a sort of answer for that. Not a proper answer. I'm sorry. If I could give one straight answer, I would, but a lot of times it's just going to be a little bit muddled. Anyway, next question from Elliot was, have there ever been any games you've been addicted to and couldn't stop playing? You literally couldn't put it down. Well, I'm going to be a little bit lame here and say I don't think there has been. I don't think so. There's been games I've probably played too much, especially as a kid when I had homework to do and, you know, schoolwork, such as probably Halo 3. I always used to go on that pretty much every day, 6:30, with my friends, play online, do Forge, co-op, stuff like that. Probably played that too much, you know, 6:30 until 9, whatever. That's just the evening gone. But I wasn't addicted to it. I wasn't sort of like I have to play it. It was just sort of a tradition. And also, you know, it was fun playing with my friends. So I don't know if that counts as an addiction. Definitely not the sort of addiction you read like with World of Warcraft, where you know people go without eating and sleeping and die because they're so addicted to a game. I don't think I've ever gone that far. I think I'm still alive. So No, I don't. That's the closest I can think of. Is there's games I've probably played too much, but never ones I've been addicted to. And if they have, I have erased that from my memory probably. Although I suppose you could argue I am maybe a little bit addicted to Minecraft in that I've played it for over 4 years now. I think it was October 2010 I bought it. Yeah, I think that's right. So I've been playing it for over 4 years, and I'm still that's the game I play the most, I'd say, overall now, and that probably gets in the way of other games. You know, I play it pretty much every day, or at least every other day. You know. Okay, yeah, we'll say Minecraft. Screw it. I will join the ranks of 13-year-olds and however even younger kids who are playing that game now, and I'll say I'm addicted to Minecraft. But at least I'm addicted to the multiplayer aspect and playing with other people. There you go. That's a little bit better, isn't it? That's a silver lining to the cloud there. Maybe. And so Elliot's last question is off topic from games, which is nice. And that is, what musicians, bands or other types of music are you into? Now, when people ask me my music tastes, I never really know what to say, because I don't want to be that person that says I can listen to anything. That's a really annoying answer. It's like, oh yeah, I can listen to anything really, because then you don't get any clue as to their sort of musical preferences. So it's just sort of like, okay, well, you can listen to anything, but that doesn't really help. There are certainly things I don't like. I don't like all the screaming stuff, like the scream metal, and I'm sorry, I don't really like dubstep. I don't like just sound, to be honest with you. I like lyrics. What can I say? I like voices. So I can listen to pretty much anything apart from some genres. That being said, I suppose I could sort of name a few, especially genres. Okay, let's screw it. I wrote down some stuff anyway, so let's say it. In terms of genres, I'm going to go with rock. I'm just going to keep it nice and simple. My favourite genre is rock. Obviously, rock can be split into many different subgenres. Classic rock, hard rock, others, you know. But yeah, let's just say rock, because alright, and I'm just going to go with loads of artists, loads of bands I listen to. Okay, The Who, Beatles, The Kinks, David Bowie, Rod Stewart, Peter Gabriel, Jerry Rafferty, AC/DC, Rolling Stones, Kings of Leon, Red Hot Chili Peppers. Do you know what? I could easily just say a lot of my musical tastes were inspired by GTA San Andreas. I've said this quite a few times now in various videos, but the particular radio station on GTA San Andreas, K-Dust, dealt with classic rock, and it was just from playing that game so much and having it on in the background, I really got used to those songs, and that sort of shaped what bands I liked. Which is quite cool in a way, and also, yeah, it led me to bands I would not have known of before. So there's loads more in that set list on that radio station, but I didn't want to name all of them. That would be a bit silly. But yeah, let's just say rock with those sort of bands. Who can, Beatles? Everyone can say the Beatles because it's the Beatles. But the Who as well. I really do like the Who. They're good. So hopefully within all of those random bands and artists in there, I've sort of explained my musical tastes. And, like I said, pretty much anything though. If something's on the radio, I'll more than likely listen to it. Because I do quite like a lot of the popular music as well. I'm not stuck in the 70s and 80s, don't worry about that. So, I think that's actually the last question from Elliot. Just having a quick look. Yes, it is. So, let's move on to a few more to end off this episode. From, have they left their name? No, damn. But the question is, what is my favourite video game character? Well, I'm saying as if I'm thinking, but I already know the answer because I wrote it down. And the answer is, with my bit of paper, there we go. It's John Marston from Red Dead Redemption. It's gotta be. Now, there are video game characters that I really like. Crash Bandicoot is one of them, the mascot of PlayStation for a while anyway. But I think in terms of storyline and emotional strength, I think John Marston probably wins because Red Dead Redemption is a story, it's in the name, it's about redemption, it's about redeeming himself as a person, and the journey you take in that game, and the things that he does, the things that the background you learn about John Marston is really, really good. It tells you enough, but it also keeps enough a secret to make it curious, which is why I really think they should make a sequel, and deal with John Marston's previous life before Red Dead Redemption to see what he was like in the gang. That would be really interesting, and that would really make you think about his actions in the, Red Dead Redemption. Knowing what he did in his past would make his actions in Red Dead Redemption very interesting, I'd say. Very interesting. So yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, there are some parts in that game, in Red Dead Redemption, where you're thinking, why are you doing this? I don't want to be doing this. It doesn't make sense for you to do this. All the people he helps out, and you just want to get to the point. You want to get to the storyline. You want to go meet the gang members, whatever. And you're like, oh, why are you getting sidelined with all these stupid little tasks, John? But I think overall, it's the first game I can say that has really made me invest in a character and want to see the story through because of them, because of what happens to them. I won't give any spoilers. It's an old game now, but the ending of the game does have a particular emotional punch to it because of the story you played with that character. And the guy did a really good job. Whoever voiced that character, John Marston, I really should look that up, but he did a really good job. So kudos to him. You know what, thinking about it, Rockstar in general are pretty good with video game characters and padding out their background and making them an actual character, with motives and a storyline and emotions. I mean, I would say that maybe like always back to San Andreas, but CJ were a sort of favourite of mine, but only quite recently, because I never played through the storyline completely until only a few years ago. When I first got the game, it was all about blowing stuff up and just messing around. But when I did complete the storyline with a friend, the actual story of that game is pretty good. Going all the way around San Andreas to ultimately release your brother from prison, and the problems that come with, you know, the gang wars and stuff, that's a pretty good storyline. I don't know what the storyline's like for GTA 4, I can never really get into it, but that's not so much because of the character and Nico, more so just the difference in like driving controls and just the whole... I did not like driving in that game. Oh, I still don't. Getting the footage for episode 1 of this Q&A series, I was trying to drive and I'm like, I can't drive in this game. It's more realistic, I suppose, but it's just less arcadey and less fun for me. But no, Rockstar are pretty good in general with their main characters. Alrighty then, so we've got a couple of questions left. I think we'll do for this episode. The next one, quite a random question. Well, I'm going to say a very random question actually, but at least it's a simple one to answer, and that is, have I ever been to Dorset, which is a place in England? And I can quite easily say no, I have not. Do I want to go to Dorset? Yeah, why not? But no, it's somewhere I have not been before. Oh, I can tick that one off. That was nice and quick. And could this be the last question for now? Maybe, we'll see. But this question is, if you had one superpower, what would it be and why? It's the ultimate... It's the, you know, it is the Q&A question, sort of. Apart from that stupid, would you rather fight 1 horse-sized duck or 10 duck-sized horses? I don't know, or 100. Okay, so that's stupid Reddit doing things like that. So, superpowers. What would be my superpower of choice? Again, I'm saying as if I'm thinking right now, but I already know the answer. It's invisibility. Just end of. You could try and say, oh well, like a genie asking for more wishes. You could say I want all superpowers, but no, that would be cheating. You can't do that. And I could say, lots of people say flight. They'd want to fly. No, not really. Not for me. Flying would be good, but you can only fly up to where you could breathe. And if you're invisible, you could sneak on planes anyway. You could fly anywhere you wanted to. Well, with the help of EasyJet or somewhere, or British Airways. And just think of all the things you could do if you were invisible. The things you could find out. You could sneak into government places. Maybe not particularly easily, but you could if you were invisible. I don't know if they could maybe find you through heat or something. I haven't really thought that much into it. But with flying, yeah, you can go somewhere really far, really fast. With invisibility, you could know more. You could know more, you could find out more, you could get to places you couldn't usually get. I don't know, I just think I'm a big eavesdropper. I am a big eavesdropper, especially when it comes to the train. If I'm on the train and there's this group having a conversation, I will eavesdrop quite considerably. Because I am a nosy person, it seems. And eavesdropping could be, you know, times up by 100 if you were invisible. You could go like, okay, so let's say with invisibility, I would hop onto a plane to Washington DC. I would sneak into the White House, and I'd overhear what President Obama is saying right now. I know all the secrets. I notice how I did that for America. I did that for the president and not David Cameron, because I don't really care what David Cameron's got to say, to be honest. Screw him. Let's go straight to the top, to the president. Yeah, I think invisibility would be pretty good. I can't think of, because there are some that you could think of quite weird ones. Another one that people say is mind reading. You could know what people are thinking. That to me would be horrible. It's a bit like that program, Heroes. That's what it's called. Heroes, yeah. And all the superpowers they have. I think one girl on there. Is it the cheerleader? Is she the main character? Oh god, I didn't even watch that show when it was on, but and that was ages ago. But yeah, one of them could read minds, and it could just be horrible because, you know, everyone could be insulting you and you'd know about it. I don't know how I feel about that. Invisibility, I think you're pretty safe with. What could go wrong? Nothing. You're fine. Just don't do anything too stupid. Okay. I'm getting right into that now. I'll start listing my sort of plan to get to the White House soon. No, invisibility. End of. Okay, so I think that'll do it for these questions. That was sort of the end of the first batch of questions when I asked for them ages ago, when I was doing my whole sort of new channel ideas. So from the next episode there should be slightly newer ones, but as always I would really welcome any more questions that you want to ask. You can leave them in the comments, you could tweet them at me, you could fill in the Google form that I will put in the document, in the description even, down below, so you can go there and put your question and your name in, and that sends it to a nice Excel spreadsheet so I can see all the questions nice there. So I would love it if you did that. But obviously only ask a question if you actually want to ask a question. Don't feel pressured into doing so. And I will do what I've done before and flip the questions to you guys. The gaming one would be very interesting, because especially like what was your first game that you loved, because that will give a good sort of idea of how old you are as well. But also music and superpowers. And I'm going to extend it a little bit. So what would it be and why? But also, what would it be, why, and what would you do with that power? I've just said what I would do. I'd sneak in and find out top government secrets. What would you do? And that will do it for this episode of Q&A. Thank you very much for watching, and until the next time, goodbye. Oh, and one more thing. The tea. That's cold. Damn. Must be more concise next time.